welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Chats with Jack, and I am Jack Talcott, here to share some inspirations. Golly geez, man, I forgot to set up my stuff again. Anyway, here to share some inspiration, some encouragement, and some ideas that I've been allowed to pick up through my life that I hope can be helpful for you. And for all of you, excuse me, all of you tuning in now or later, sincerely, greetings and blessings, fellow Talcottians, much love to you all. And whether it's in the now or if it's in the later, choose joy. I don't know. Do as you want. Hey, the idea today is faith. And have faith Friday with a reminder, just as love is a verb, so is faith. It really is. Faith and love are shown through words and actions, but it's mostly actions. Faith and love truly do go beyond the words, but they're shown through our words and actions. They are inseparable gifts to know, grow, carry, and share with others throughout the days of your life. It's so simple. It's so obvious that a life of faith and love, it's what we all want. This idea of faith into action, that's really where I want to take it, is how do we bring faith into action? See, life is really much less complicated than the egoic mind wants to believe. The egoic mind wants to be in control, in power. The egoic mind actually replaces and it interferes with and it interrupts the mind of God. And yet it's not separated from the mind of God. The ego mind, it is with God. We are all with God. In the present time and all of the time of the past, we are always with God, whether we realize it or not. And see, here's where my testimony is going to come in. And let me address a couple of admin stuff just for a moment. Yesterday's stream was a little shorter than others. I did open it up I created the opportunity, and I probably will create the opportunity for a panel again today. But, I got to be honest, a shorter stream felt pretty good for me. So I'm not anticipating a long period of time again today. But in the short time we share together, I prefer to really focus on value. See, this faith idea is something that I didn't understand. I really didn't. I didn't grow up with church. I didn't grow up with religion. I grew up as part of the world. I bought into the American dream, which is truly a nightmare, where you feel like you're all alone in this world. It's up to you. You gotta do it, which is a partial truth. But I was in preparation for the topic today, faith into action on Faith Friday, and the connections between faith and love. This is something I truly learned. So take what you want from what I offer. I'm not lying. I mean, I'm an honest man who truly cares. I care about everyone. I care about this world. I care that the world has gotten to the way that it is. And I trust that if we join together with faith today and we take actions, I believe peace can be found and known in our world. So in my life, I spent much of my life, and for those who've been around a while, the Talcottian story, served the military as a kid and then a career with the Postal Service and developed into a union guy and demons of alcoholism most of my life. When I started changing my life, and this is the bizarreness of my story, but it's my life, it's what I've had to accept. When I found the willingness within myself to change, to become a greater man than I used to be, don't get me wrong, even though I had a drinking problem, I was still a union leader and a caring father and a damn good friend to many, many people. Um, when I chose to become greater than who I used to be, my life fell apart. But then I don't want to offer this and cause those fears into people's minds. Oh my God, if I turn to God, if I get better, things are going to get worse. No, we all go through our dark night of the soul. We're all on our own spiritual and we're all on our own individual path of development. Okay, through our consciousness, through our awareness, our wisdom, and our spirit. The spirit already knows God. The spirit already knows the answers. The spirit guides us through our lives, but the egoic mind is where the battles are found. It's where the worries creep in. It's where the fears and the anxiety and the hate and the depression, it's in the mind. And the mind will corrupt the heart, and then the body starts feeling the dis-ease, and sickness grows and misery grows. And the next thing you know, we've got Donald Trump and Joe Biden debating each other as though they're the best leaders we can find. I have faith that we can do better, brothers and sisters. I know for a fact we can. Yet, let me get out of that. My faith is in God, and this is God's plan for us all. The past history and where we're at today, this is God's plan for us all. See, and in my life, for me to find faith, to find love in my life, guess what I had to do? It was really, really simple. I had to accept it. I had to surrender. Man, once you surrender your worries and your fears and your anxiety and your limitations, once you surrender those, man, the peace, the freedom you can feel, oh, it's indescribable. I encourage you, have faith. We don't know the future, and we sure don't know what the future will bring. We don't know what ideas may bring, especially if we don't try. So sometimes it takes faith, right? You got to have a little faith in yourself and a faith in a higher power for yourself to turn that corner and to go in a different direction. It's scary. It's scary walking around in life not knowing what you're doing, not knowing what the answer is, not knowing what the future's going to bring. It can be scary. So accept that. So what? So what things can be scary? It doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't have to mean anything to me unless I want it to mean something to me. And the same applies for you. We have within us the power of mind, which is so misunderstood in our modern, especially the Western world. And because of the misunderstandings in the mind, there's been a lot of corrupted hearts. Brothers and sisters, have faith that you can uncorrupt your heart. You can unconfuse your mind. Only once you accept that your heart has become corrupted or your mind has become confused. I don't want to overcomplicate this. I really do hope to offer a simple reminder for all of you, whoever you are, right? I'm going to I'm going to play this by ear. Drop the link in the chat for those who may be present and interested in joining with questions or conversations. Faith into action. My life, I found my faith because it was literally an either find faith and the fortitude within yourself to keep going, Jack, or you'll go insane. It was as simple as that. And my worries, my fear, my anger, all of this stuff, it was driving me insane. I wasn't sharing it around. I mean, obviously, I yelled at some people in the past, people who weren't willing to help me or work with me or understand me. And now I understand. I don't know if it wasn't a lack of willingness. It was a lack of willingness, but may have been God's plans for me. And that's what I had to accept. I had to accept that all of the betrayals in the past, all of the pain, the robbery, the assault, that was a part of God's plans for me. And God's plans for me brought me to today, where I sit before you with love, without fear, right? Which way is that? There we go. Without fear and with love, I sit before you today. And I am a man God has blessed with a peace of knowing within myself that I live for God. It's not my will that I live for God. And I trust that God's will for me is to serve you with some, hopefully today, the idea today, what I'm intending to offer to serve you is some inspiration, some ideas for yourself. Learn from my testimony. You don't have to lose everything to grow in your faith. It's easier than you think if you just focus on growing the light within you. What is light within you? The light of God shines upon us. It's through the light of God we're able to see. It's through the light within you that you shine. You can shine very brightly. Many of us do shine into the world, but it's real easy to shine darkness. I used to do that for a long time. I mean, I remember walking around at work with intentional scowls, because if you look pissed off and angry, well, people will leave you alone. I was so sick of people, man. Little did I realize what it was. I wasn't sick of people. I was sick of myself. I was sick of myself holding myself back. I was sick of myself doing things that I felt shameful about. My drinking every day. I couldn't figure out how to stop. Somewhere along the line, my light got severely dimmed, and I did not feel my life was worth living. I wanted to end my life so many days for so long in my past, and many times even after I found God. The world pushes me away. I got no finances. I can't afford to do anything. And it's been many years it's been like this. But man, earlier today, well, this is part of my story too. When I say that, you know, I've mentioned, and it's funny too. People pointed out, yeah, the prophets ignored and rejected from his hometown, Jack. Okay, well, am I a prophet? Because I've certainly been rejected from my hometown. I've been ignored and misunderstood by everybody. They got nothing. So I'm here with you. And since before the pandemic was identified, and the government reactions happened, dude, I've been on economic house arrest for most of that time. And I'm back to it again, at least for a few more days. And then I'll get my veteran disability that's been carrying me through for a long time. See, my life allowed me to overcome my fears of money, the lack of money that creeps in. Oh my God, I can't afford this. It's a battle that I've fought and won within myself many, many times. It's getting easier, but yesterday was another one. Just accept it, you know? And here's where faith comes in. Give yourself permission. Please, it's worth it. Give yourself permission to ease your heart with your mind, giving yourself permission to feel calm, to feel safe, to know that you're okay, to know that you're all right. And then if you can convince yourself that you're okay, it's okay to be calm in this moment right here in today. If you can feel calm and feel okay, well, keep pressing. Feel grateful. Feel good. And if you can feel grateful and feel good about who you are and where you are right now, today, well, then you should have faith. Faith that your life starts again today. And one of the mantras I've been going through in my head, here's one of the lessons I've learned. Okay. Take it for what it is. Maybe your experience is different, but the past 6+ years for me has proven to me I do not control the results. I do not control what others do. I don't control anything except me and how I respond or react to the moments that life brings. I've failed so many times that I am absolutely convinced God is in control. God is in control. And it just makes sense, too, if you humble yourself to that truth, which it is a truth. It can be explained in many, many different ways. But if you humble yourself to the truth that God has control of all things, you can rest easy. Because I trust in what I've read and what I've learned. Um, what is God? Let me come back. Sorry, I'm bouncing around, but this is hopefully going to make sense. I mentioned earlier that we want to grow the light within us. Well, God provides the light of consciousness, the light of energy, the light that comes from God, from the source of creation. It's magical. And within us, we can carry the darkness of confusion and resentment and guilt and all of this stuff, the lack and the negativity. We can carry that darkness, or we can grow our light. And the light within us that shines forth, the fruit that comes from us, when we speak, it reveals what's in our heart. And it may reveal a confused mind. I've seen a lot of that. The light within us, what is truly makes every one of us unique and special and different, it's the wisdom and the talents, the love that comes forth. Because every one of us has a different talent and a different offering that's like written in our hearts. But this game of life, it's amazing. Our God is so incredible. I'm confident of this, that God has a great sense of humor. So maybe, actually, People complain about how much I laugh, and sometimes I do laugh at what might appear to be inappropriate times. But, landline. Sorry, comment from the chat distracted me. Um, where was I? I don't know. And I get it. Get and in some ways agree that we all need to have faith and be happy with what we need, not what we want. Life is much easier and happier when we do it, but it doesn't mean we should ignore our responsibilities. Correct. So we get to choose our responsibilities. We can ignore our responsibilities, deny our responsibilities, or what I like to do is I see every responsibility as an opportunity because it's an opportunity for me to prove myself that I'm responsible for myself and others. And it's an opportunity. Most responsibilities are actually directed at others in the reality. So it's an opportunity to serve. God has given us the life we live. We have the opportunity and responsibility to be truthful. Above all, above all, be honest. Chuck in Tennessee, amen. As Tiny Tim would say, bless us all. We have been blessed. This is what I realized, and I've convinced myself. What allows me to grow in my faith and my love is the realization that I have been blessed. If you convince yourself that you have been blessed and you are blessed, well, guess what? You've got plenty to share. You've got blessings to offer others. But if you feel like you already know it all, you got everything taken care of, and you don't need nothing else, well, you really won't share much else either. Hey, actually, thank you, DeFreak. I am curious, does anyone know Mark Passio? I'd actually like to talk with that guy. He seems to know quite a bit too about the natural law and the dark side, and I happen to be focused most on the light. But my education, I paid attention to what Mark was sharing, and he's sharing a lot of, whoops, wrong way. He's sharing a lot of good stuff, I think. Um, where my thought just went, I did drop the link for those who may wish to join, but you know, I'm also inclined that I don't need to keep trying as hard as I have. I've been on here 7 days a week for a long time, inviting people to join me in my efforts to try and make a better world. There's plenty of evidence of my words and my patience and my offers. My story has been shared many times, even though there's still a lot of gossip and confusion about me. But, brothers and sisters, I'm growing in faith. The time is now. The time is here. The days of celebration will be soon, meaning the truth has been revealed. That's the return of Christ. The return of Christ is when people are no longer subjected to the lies of the world. I was watching a documentary earlier today about the Federal Reserve and the absolute corruption it is. Brothers and sisters, when are we going to awaken? When are we going to wake up to what is happening in this world? When are we going to unite and bring peace? When are we going to bring the reforms? When are we going to set the truth free? When are we going to accept the truth? I know I can force no one to do anything, and I pay attention to my words, and I try not to tell people what to do because I don't like being told what to do. That's kind of satanic. The evil wants to control God. God offers freedom. God offers choice, options, opportunities. So I want to remind you of your options, your opportunities to grow into a greater you. And the way to grow into a greater you is really much more simple than the mind wants to believe. The idea is to surrender to what is real. What is real is the here and now. From the here and now, from a place of gratitude and peace and wholeness, ideas can come into your mind, especially if here's a my faith in God has grown, and where I remind myself to give myself more faith, more peace, is I realize that only God's plans will be. And I trust that God's plans for me, for you, for this world is salvation. Salvation from the corruption, the disease of darkness, salvation from the fears and miseries that life can bring. I trust that salvation is the path that God wants for us all. And so I allow myself to feel it, to rest in the knowing that I may not know in my mind, but all of my problems have been solved. And if all of my problems have been solved in this present moment, I have nothing to worry about. I have love and opportunities to share. So when I tell myself and convince myself, okay, Jack, here in this moment of the sun where you are in meditation and prayer and one with nature and the wind and God, all of your problems are solved. So what does your heart want? Hey, my heart continues to want to unite with other people. But since I know that I can't control other people, I want to grow in me. And who am I? Who are you? We are the thoughts we think. We are the things we say. We are what we do in this world. Pay attention to what you're thinking. Pay attention to what you're saying. Pay attention to what you're doing. Please, for the love of God. This nonsense of Trump and Biden, it is evidence, brothers and sisters, evidence of the insanity and the low standards of the American population. If I'm speaking to you as a viewer and you're caught up in this divide of Democrats and Republicans, and oh my God, we gotta have Trump, we gotta have Biden, because oh my God, Trump will destroy it. If you're caught up in the delusions of the parties, it's time to set yourself free. It's time to escape from the lies of the American dream and realize that this economic disparity and the corruption, the entire Federal Reserve is a lie. These people, these people in government, the people in the Federal Reserve, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't. They're saying, well, if we do this, we'll fix all the problems. And they come on the news and they talk like they're the experts, and they don't know what they're doing. They're misled. They're deceived. The entire world has been fooled into selfishness and greed. Brothers and sisters, the new world awaits us right now. The new world I'm talking about is a world without oppression and debts, a world without division and wars and violence. I'm talking about a world where people share wisdom, share love, so that everyone walks with faith. Faith in life itself. Don't lose faith in life. Life is God. The path to life is through God, with God. There's no other way. So embrace that idea that you can align with God. When you invite God into your mind, into your heart, into your present time, it's there. It's subtle, and yet the power will transform you. At least it did for me. You know, hey, Chuck in Tennessee, that's real easy to say for someone maybe in your experience. There's a lot of other people in this world that literally are in position. The only way they can economically survive is to borrow. So don't be a dick, Chuck, please. I know you've always got something better than what I say or to oppose what I say, but Chuck, my experience with you, I know that we can do better. I know that we can all do better. I have faith that a better world is happening. There's so many organizations, there's so many discoveries, so many innovations, there's so many inspiring men and women alive today. Brothers and sisters, become one of those. Become one of the inspirations in your family, in your community. Become faith filled. Become filled with love, filled with compassion, filled with care, not just about those who take care of you or those who you choose to take care of. Care about the world you live in. Brothers and sisters, we can transform this world so quickly. Your life, I don't know your life. Maybe you've got it pretty good. Maybe you've got it pretty comfortable. Maybe you don't have anything to worry about because you've planned and you've lived a blessed life. Congratulations. Let's start expanding our minds and hearts to those who are less fortunate. Let's start giving a damn about these innocent men, women, and children in war-torn communities. Let's start giving a shit about these innocent men and women who are locked away in cages. Innocent men and women locked in cages, in jails, in prisons, waiting for a day of judgment by some fool in a black costume, black robe. I mean, what are we doing here? The satanic. You know what? Mark Passio came up earlier. If anyone listening here has not come across Mark Passio and, you know, what I'm saying about the costumed robe judges, go check him out. He gets into all this nonsense pretty well. It's sincerely, brothers and sisters, the world we are in today, this is June 28th, 2024, according to my laptop here. The world we are living in today, it is by God's grace that all things happen. Let's humble ourselves to that fact. Yet God has allowed mankind to serve Satan. I raised my hand and I took an oath to serve Satan when I enlisted in the military. I knew there was something wrong with my choice in my heart when I did it. And please don't get me wrong. I've said this before, by God's grace, I was kept safe. By God's grace, others were kept safe from me. But there's satanic agendas. What is a satanic agenda? To kill, steal, and destroy. What is God's agenda? To bring forth life, wisdom, love, excitement. That's what life is about. Life is about all the good things. It's not about the horror. It's not about the debts. It's not about all of this other negative stuff. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses. It's not about, the nice car and the nice house. It's truly about what are we doing in the world? What are we doing for the world? I mean, God created life for us to know. God gave this world to mankind. That's you. That's me. That's these idiots, Trump and Biden, too. Damn it, Jack. I don't mean to call people names. Praise God. God's created them to be as they are, as I have been created to be as I am, as you were created to be as you are. Praise God for all things. Brothers and sisters, my purpose, my passion, my faith, it includes many things. I hope you can receive some of the encouragement and some of the ideas I'm offering. I hope you can receive these and consider them for yourself. The idea of growing the light within you, aligning yourself with the present so that you can walk with love from now on. That's the way of Jesus. That's the way of God. Walk with love from now on. And with the faith that God is with you. Not only is God with you, God and the entire universe are created for you and me. I'm confident of this. So if you can trust in what you hear, you don't have to trust me. Trust in what God revealed to you to consider, because that's all that anything really is anything we experience and hear. It's just something for us to consider or ignore or argue about and complain about, whatever we want to do. But I encourage you, consider what I'm saying. See how you can apply growing your own faith, growing your own love in today and from now on. And legitimately, to join the efforts to end wars, there's a lot of people who are working on that mission. I encourage you, share some time, share some interest, share some attention to those things. And if you want to join the efforts to end wars or connect with me for whatever reason, productive, I'd hope, there's links and my number is right there. And I was accused of begging. Golly geez, man, people are so fascinating. Let me not complain. I'm going to consider this complete. And sincerely, brothers and sisters, thank you. All of you who tuned in, whether it's a present time or a later date, thank you. I hope you can, while I may not have presented it as clearly as I could, I hope you receive some of the ideas of faith that I've learned. It really is easier than you think. The idea is to surrender. Surrender to what you know. The light within you is what you know. It's not what you believe. It's not what you think. It's what you know. From what you know, if you allow love to lead your mind, then you can trust what you might think, right? From where you are and you see, okay, I know this about my life and I know I want to accomplish this. My heart is leading me this way. Take the steps. It's really easy. The egoic mind, the limiting mind wants to come up with excuses to disrupt success. Don't disrupt your success. Don't disrupt your peace. Don't disrupt your love. Don't deny your faith. And brothers and sisters, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you again, sincerely, all who tuned in, and, choose love. Peace for everyone. And until next time, live without fear. Thank you again, and God bless us all.